On this episode of the Film Optix Podcast, it looks like the creators of Avatar: The Last Airbender are leaving the Netflix series project. It also looks like Shia LaBeouf is rumored to play as Iceman in the new MCU X-Men. So let's jump in. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Film Optix, brought to you by the Drive-In Podcast Network, where we bring you the headline hot takes of entertainment news each and every week. I'm your host, Christian, and today we're going to be talking about, of course, the world of film, TV, pop culture, video games, and all that jazz. And as always, I'm joined by my good friend and my co-host, Devin. How are you?
Will we be discussing WAP at any point?
I hope not. I saw that video. It was a video.
Entertained?
I was entertained.
Yes.
What's up?
Yes, hard not to be.
Yeah, very, very, very hard not to be. It's just trying to choose my words carefully, since we're recording. But yes, I was entertained. So we'll just leave it at that. But how's your week been, man? This week's been kind of been blowing by. I mean, I hate to jinx it, but
Yeah, it's been a pretty average week. Lots of Fall Guys, lots of Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
Patrolling Doom. Didn't realize there were 15 episodes, so that's
and they're all an hour each, and that's why I think
a lot of work.
It is a lot of work,
and season 2 is still ongoing.
Yes, so maybe if. I mean, it just depends. I mean, I think I'm on episode like 4 or something like that of season 1. Maybe I'm
on 7 or 8.
Okay. I mean, I feel like we could maybe do it.
I'm enjoying it, so it's something nice to put on.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else to do.
That is true. I actually just finished Harley Quinn, season 1 and 2, so I enjoyed myself immensely with that.
I'm guessing those are a nice half hour.
Yes. It was very nice. It was, especially after, watching Umbrella Academy season 2. But I mean, those didn't even feel like, hour-long episodes. But between when I watched Cursed and then Umbrella Academy season 2, it was kind of like a back-to-back type deal. So it was definitely a nice breath of fresh air to go back to that, 20, 25 minute mark shows. And they're only about maybe 13, 12 episodes per. I think season 1's a little bit longer than season 2. So maybe I'll start Doom Patrol. But there's also Chernobyl. But maybe Doom Patrol.
Yeah, Doom Patrol's got a little more relevancy currently.
Yeah, but I do I need to watch Chernobyl before the HBO Last of Us series because I've heard it's phenomenal.
Well, that's gonna be a while.
Yeah, maybe I can knock out Chernobyl before Doom Patrol, but it's like, I mean, if we plan on doing a season 2, review of Doom Patrol, then maybe I'll just have to put that on the back burner. I don't know, so we'll just have to wait and see. But before we begin,
I'm just glad that Brendan Fraser is blessing our screen again.
That is very true, very true. He is really good in that show. Titans, maybe.
Hard pass.
Fuck Batman. But before we begin today's review, you can listen to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, Red Circle, Pandora, TuneIn, and iHeart Radio as well. So we have a lot. Like, I know I say this every week we have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to talk about, like a lot. And we're going to try to give it to you all within an hour. So, we're not going to rush or anything. If we go a little bit over, so be it. But let's just jump right in. So do you want to take this first one, Devin, or do you want me to kind of just gloss over these first two?
I think you can take it. I don't even have it open.
Oh, God.
All right.
Okay, so DC fandom. There's a little article out there, a little CNET article out there of everything you need to know. We don't have the schedule as of yet, but there's rumors suggesting that they will drop the schedule well, this is going to be coming out on Friday, so today. So if we're recording this on Thursday, it should be out by the time of this recording goes live. So, but that's of course a rumor, but it looks like, of course, everyone knows that the DC fandom event, it will be a 24-hour event starting at 10 a.m. Pacific time on Saturday, August 22nd. I don't know how they're planning on doing this. And I mean, it's just, what are we like? Are we just supposed to be on our phones all day? Are we streaming this? I mean, I would like to stream some parts, but I mean, 24
there's just no way of knowing what to watch if it's 24 hours.
Yeah, and that's what really
the schedule could give us some hints, but I have no idea.
Yeah, I wanted to see how are they going to pull this off, because they're saying 24 hours, and that makes one jam-packed day of events. This isn't just, if you have plans, forget it. If you want to see if you want to be what's in the know, get that information out there and be within the discourse of the DC universe, you're gonna be glued to your TV or your phone, your computer, pretty much all weekends, because it runs from Saturday to Sunday.
Yeah, we'll be on Twitter. So that's all we really need.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about doing a live stream event, but it depends on if there's okay, we're gonna.
It just depends on the schedule.
Yeah, it really
if
does.
There's a section that's all right, that's gonna be big, then maybe.
Yeah, because I don't think I can do a full. I mean, I could. Would I enjoy it? No, because we all have lives. I mean, as exciting as this stuff is, it's not very. I'm just really interested to see how they're going to pull all this off. But
they have to find a way to fit in the Zack Snyder Edgelord hour.
I think that's the only thing people are. I mean, I am interested to see what's going on, within DC fandom, because I do want DC to do better. I want as much as we're both big Marvel guys here. We've seen the achievements that they've made, and it's just. I mean, DC's getting there. It's just, I'm kind of tired of it just being one-sided. We know Marvel usually pumps out really good stuff, give or take. When it comes to a lot of the content, I would say a good 75 to 80% of it hits the mark. But of course, you have those that fall flat, and that, of course, expects all types of. It is what it is, but I'm just interested to see what DC has to lay out. But we also have some video game news as well we're going to be talking about later, dealing with DC. But do you want to take this next one that kind of...
unfortunate news.
Unfortunate news, yes.
Let's see. DC Entertainment has laid off a third of their staff just days before the DC Fandom event.
Man, all those DC passes. All those
it's
interns.
Gonna be, I mean, if this is people that worked on the event and then they get fired days before, that's so shitty.
Yeah. See, I'm not entirely sure if it is. Nothing's officially has been announced by DC or Warner when it comes to this, but many industry insiders have already taken to social media about this.
I'm guessing a lot of people have been working on this event because it's such a big event. So
yeah.
A good amount of them probably just got fired before they could even see it come to fruition.
Yeah, and that really does suck because and hey, I mean every company's greatest asset is people. Humans are a company's greatest asset, as they say, which is unfortunate in this type of light, because obviously it takes more than a person to run an entire company. But yeah, it kind of blows. We really don't know too much else about it. But I'm sure there were people who worked on this event that were affected. But it looks like, I think this might have to go back through maybe to COVID, but I'm not entirely sure.
AT&T is trying to save that money left and right.
Oh, yeah. AT&T is huge, and it's like, man, oh, man. It's just, the layoffs have been confirmed, but it's just, there's no confirmation on the full list of creators or, comics as well that will be affected, or any future DC content in general. So, oh well. But moving on from some sad news over to some
more of this weird thing that studios do for some reason.
Yeah, we're looking for an Alison Brie type to play She-Hulk.
We're looking for a Haley Steinfeld type
to play Kate Bishop. Well, it looks like Marvel is again looking for a Joel.
This one's the most random of all. Joel Kinnaman type.
Yeah, for an unknown role in the upcoming Spider-Man 3.
The speculation is that it's Kraven the Hunter.
I wish they would just use him already.
Would be a decent fit because I can see it with good old Joel.
Yeah,
get him out of Suicide Squad. Get him into Spider-Man instead. Rick Flag, Suicide Squad.
Yeah, maybe he'll have better luck on the other side of the fence there for sure. But yeah, I know everyone's been craving for Kraven the Hunter. I think it would be fantastic. It's just I really want these studios to explore the villains that we like. Yes, there's there's Venom. Everyone wants to see Venom in the MCU. We've seen Green Goblin a few times over, and I'm kind of tired of that. But it's like I feel like we're kind of
they can do a really cool job of modernizing Kraven the Hunter. I feel like too.
Yeah. Like he would be fantastic, and even on the DC side, like I want to see some Deathstroke. I want to see some Mr. Freeze. That's what I want to see. I want to see Batman go up against Mr. Freeze for sure. But yeah, it's going back to this.
Only
story.
if it's Arnold
Schwarzenegger. I used to love that movie when I was a kid before I knew better. But I was like, hey, it's Batman and Robin. Like I used to watch it religiously. Had a crush on Poison Ivy as well. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, you want to take this next one? Your boy Shia
LaBeouf. Not quite the casting that we were thinking of, but looks like he's being considered for Iceman in X-Men. I mean, in the X-Men movies we've had so far, Iceman has been a very small character. I don't know if that would change in this case, because I want Shia to be a big role. Yeah,
this is Shia LaBeouf we're talking about. Like,
so I don't know how influential Iceman actually is. I mean, he's a pretty well known X-Man, but he's not like the top tier X-Men that you think of.
Yeah, he's really not. I mean,
because I know we wanted him to be Moon Knight, and then I also saw Boss Logic put out that picture of him as Wolverine, and now I can't get that out of my head. And Shia LaBeouf has to be Wolverine. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I did see that. That was actually
looks
pretty
amazing.
Sweet. I was like, oh my! Everyone's like, who should we get to play as Wolverine? It's like, my God, he's been
under our nose the whole time.
He's been there the entire time. I think, Shia is a very gifted actor. I think there's a lot of roles that he could play. I think
just imagine him getting ripped and being Wolverine. Like, that's just so perfect.
That would be pretty sweet. Like, if he becomes Wolverine or if he becomes Moon Knight, I will be okay with either or.
But Iceman,
yeah, it seems
the best choice.
Unless this is Marvel making the lesser known X-Men, the ones that people normally don't care about, into the stars, because it
could be their strategy, because people could be X-Men fatigued at this point, so maybe they're trying to reach down to the bit of the lower tier ones and bring them up.
Yeah, maybe.
But Iceman was in those movies.
Yes, he was.
Just not prominently.
Right. Bring in not necessarily like the new X-Men, or just like the lesser known X-Men. Let them have their shine in their spot in the limelight there, and then bring in the big guns, because I feel like we are on a bit of a X-Men fatigue, because it feels like the whole Fox X-Men universe has been going on for so long, and even Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart, like, they're, especially Ian McKellen, he's very, very tired of the role. After a while there, watched a few interviews with him and Graham Norton a while back. So, that's just, I guess we'll just have to keep our ears to the ground for that one. But looks like the New Mutants, which is supposedly still, they're sticking to their guns. They're saying it's coming out August 28th. We got the
AMC.
We got the AMC. The AMC is back. We'll talk about that in a second. But looks like New Mutants fake Disney Plus trailer footage was discovered in an international promo. Like I said before, it could have been real. It could have been fake. People make. It's very possible to make a convincing fake trailer through like Premiere Pro, because that is like the industry standard when it comes to editing and making these movies. Is what a lot of YouTubers use as well. There are other softwares out there as well, but Premiere Pro is that is the industry standard. So, cool. We're just waiting for it to come out. Did you have anything else you wanted to touch on with New Mutants? My banner, by the way, on Twitter is still this in theaters August 28th, 2020, and it says fingers crossed. So we'll see if it comes true.
Yeah, we'll see.
But you want to take this this next one here, Devin? I thought this one was kind of interesting here for the comic book news section.
Yeah, I actually haven't heard too much about this. But
I have not either. So I'm not sure how true it is.
Marvel Comics has been called out for seemingly erasing a Black Lives Matter logo from the cover of a 2019 comic book starring Miles Morales. In the original preview, a BLM fist symbol can be seen on the streetlights. In the final release, the streetlight is completely blank. Seems fishy.
It does seem fishy. I know a while ago, Disney has this rule where they don't want any of their characters to be associated with like anything negative. Not saying that obviously the Black Lives Matter thing isn't negative. It's just anything negative or controversial. Because I know a while ago there was a family, their son had passed away, and his favorite hero was Spider-Man, and they asked Disney if they could put Spider-Man on their child's grave, and Disney said no, because they didn't want their company to be associated with death, even though like the entire Disney animated renaissance, Mufasa and everyone's dying left and right, Bambi and what have you, which is odd. So it was just a small story that we picked up. I don't understand why they would remove it, because you would think, Disney would be for Black Lives Matter, as well as, many other companies have expressed their support to the movement. So I don't know. I can't, I can't say, they don't want to get into politics, because every company gets into politics when it comes to this kind of stuff. And, everyone wants to make sure they're on the right side of the fence. They want to make sure that they're, their consumers and their supporters and their investors, everyone's heard, affected by the injustice going on in the country as of right now, as well as, everything with COVID. So that's weird. I don't know. Or maybe, I don't know. Couldn't even tell you. You have any thoughts about it?
No, it just doesn't
very
seem
odd.
Right.
Yeah. So I guess we'll just have to keep our ears to the ground on that one as well, because I didn't really see anything else outside of this article about it on Twitter. So I don't know how true this is. It might be not. Screen Rant, they're a pretty reliable source. Maybe it's just one of those smaller stories that got overlooked. So we'll just have to see if anything else comes about that. But did you want to take this last bit of comic book news before we head into our next segment?
Seth Rogen staying in the news here.
Yeah.
He had this interview where he was talking about the current state of comedy in Hollywood. And the topic of the MCU was brought up, and he described them as $200 million comedies. And the quote goes as such: something that me and Evan Goldberg talk about a lot is how Marvel movies are comedies. He said while promoting The American Pickle, Thor Ragnarok is a comedy, Ant-Man is a comedy at its core. So that's what's out there. There are $200 million comedies out there, and so that's something as a comedic filmmaker to be aware of. And this got misquoted across the internet quite a bit.
It did, because when I first read it, and it was like, because I wasn't able to just like when I first read the headline, I was like, "What?" And like, of course, like my initial reaction was like, "What does he mean?" Because I think everyone's so on the fence, especially with Martin Scorsese saying, they're like fun amusement parks, like it's whatever. But reading more into it, after just, of course, discussing it with you on Twitter, I was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I can't say every single movie is a comedy, but I would say that Thor Ragnarok is a comedy, and the Ant-Man movies for sure. So, I mean, obviously, they have their more serious movies, but they do have their comedy spurts in there as well.
Yeah, the crux of what he's getting at is that these movies have $200 million budgets and they're comedies, and they have such giant scope that it kind of forces comedic filmmakers like himself to step up, because he will never have that kind of budget. So,
true.
It's just kind of forces him to step his game up.
Yeah. I mean, he's just speaking the truth.
To give us storytelling in a more easy to digest way.
Yeah. Because I mean, pure comedies, as fun as they are, it is very hard to make a trailer for a comedy and not show all the best parts, not show all the hilarious laughs. I think Booksmart did a really good job with it. So did Good Boys as well. But we really haven't, between like Good Boys and Booksmart and even Superbad. Like, I mean, those are like probably like 3 top comedies amongst a few others as well. But it's very hard to like I said, it's hard to keep this stuff under wraps, because it's like, I feel like, I'm not saying comedy is dying, but we just reviewed American Pickle. Go ahead and check out that review, by the way, if you haven't already. But we were lukewarm to the movie, I would say. And
I enjoyed it.
Right. I guess it's just a lot of comedies just like have the same, like, beat by the numbers, whatever. But it is what it is, I guess. But I do see where Seth Rogen's coming from, for sure. So let's head on into the new normal. We have some devastating news again here. Starting off with Avatar: The Last Airbender. For those of you who don't know, Netflix and the original creators of the Avatar: The Last Airbender series that originally, and the inception of the idea was back in 2002, back in the OG Nickelodeon days. They are no longer attached to the live-action series that is coming to Netflix. And I believe this was Michael Dante DiMartino's statement saying, I mean, it's actually pretty devastating here. That him and Brian, the co-creators of Avatar: Last Airbender, have made the difficult decision to leave the project. It says Netflix said that they were committed to honoring their vision for retelling and supporting them through creating the series, and they expressed how excited they were for the opportunity, to be at the helm of that project. And unfortunately, things did not go as hoped. It looks like there was a lot of unforeseen events arise, a lot of creative differences. Netflix wanted to go one way, and obviously the show creators wanted to go another. I think this kind of goes back to what Netflix is looking for their own, big shot, like Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings type show, and I think maybe they saw that in Avatar. But there's an entire post, I believe Michael posted this on Instagram as well. But they wanted to make it clear that, just because they are leaving the project of the Netflix series for Avatar does not mean that ends their involvement with the Avatar universe. Their stories and characters, the stories and characters are important to them, of course. And it renewed like some type of interest. I'm kind of paraphrasing off of statement here, if you can't already tell. But they're pushing forward, doing their own. They want to do their own thing because Nickelodeon still owns the rights. It isn't owned by Netflix now. This isn't like a Spider-Man debacle or whatnot. So they can still express certain things. This Netflix series deal was, of course, probably one of the deals between Netflix and Nickelodeon. When they made that nice signage there because they want to bring a lot of their properties over to their streaming platform. But that's pretty much the long and short of it. But I wanted to get your thoughts about this.
As someone who doesn't really have any knowledge on Avatar: The Last Airbender, I guess I'm just curious as to why they're going live action again. I feel like obviously it failed miserably the first time, and in general it seems like anime adaptations that go live action usually fail 9 out of 10 times. So I'm just curious why that was the choice in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm a huge Avatar fan. I have the Blu-ray for Legend of Korra, and of course, the Avatar: Last Airbender. Avatar was a show that I watched religiously growing up. Me and my sister watched it together, and it is one of those stories that I can confidently say that it is one of the best stories that's ever been told. It's one of my it's in my top 3 TV shows of all time. It's a beautiful story. The world building that they've made and the messages that it sends out. A lot of these. A lot of fans of Avatar: The Last Airbender, a lot of us who have grew up with the series, we're adults now, we have adult lives and whatnot. And I'm not sure what the whole, the disagreement was. I would guess it might have to do something with, the creative differences, as they probably, I can't really even say they wanted to tell something more adult, but I feel like this Netflix adaptation might be a little bit more on the kid side. But, we'll just have to wait and see. This definitely, hits home. It really sucks that, Netflix, essentially promised them something, creative freedom or, within certain boundaries, I'm sure. And then, Netflix is pushing back on that. But I want to leave a little bit of words of wisdom that Michael put in his statement from Uncle Iroh himself. Sometimes life is like this dark tunnel. You can't always see the light at the end of the tunnel, but if you just keep moving, you will come to a better place. So maybe we all keep moving and come to a better place. Michael ends with his little statement there. So it's very, very powerful stuff there. So let's move on. Let's move on here to some other bad news.
Yeah.
You want to tell this one, Pat?
This one.
Take it away.
SpongeBob SquarePants. Nickelodeon has greenlit a Patrick Star spin-off series. That's just not what you want to hear. It's just even worse when you think about the fact that the creator of SpongeBob's Steven Hillenburg, he refused to ever do a spin-off series because he just wanted SpongeBob to be SpongeBob. He wanted it to be a special show, and that's what it was. And then he dies 2 years ago, and now that he's dead, they just do a spin-off series against his request.
Yeah.
It's just kind of shitty.
I agree. And, SpongeBob, it's one of those shows where, if you don't have the core cast, it kind of all falls apart. Same thing with Community. I mean, can you imagine, we're going to make a Pierce spinoff show? That sounds terrible. Like, as much as I
imagine like a Cleveland Browns spinoff show. Like, it sounds horrible.
Okay, Cleveland Browns spinoff show was good for 2-3 seasons, and then I just didn't really care. I liked it. I mean, for what it was. I mean, it's still that Family Guy reference, but it wasn't as good. But I think that made it work to a certain degree, but I kind of fell off of that show after a while. But this kind of reminds me of when they tried to make for Friends a spinoff of Joey. It's like, oh, let's take the dumb one of the group. You know, everyone loves him so much, and give him his own show. And it's like it just doesn't work. And yeah, that is pretty. It's very unfortunate, you know. Nickelodeon's kind of going forward with that. I don't see that being good whatsoever. But I also wanted to talk about before we get in I wanted to talk about the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air drama as well, really quick, and we'll just because I feel like it's kind of similar. You sent me the trailer, Devin. You sent it to me.
Well, it's not the trailer for the show. It's the original video that came out last year that had inspired the creation of this show.
Oh, I see. So I misspoke. I apologize.
Not a fan.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of
trying to turn Fresh Prince into this drama, like.
Yeah, I mean, no. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's a sitcom, right? And you can have drama aspects in a sitcom.
The best ones always do.
Yes, they really do. The ones that speak a very powerful message. I would be okay with like a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air with a different retake. I know there's been a lot of. I saw some meme or it was some picture where it was like, okay, you know, if you had Will Smith and his son Jaden, you know, on the show, obviously Will would play Will, and it would be to where, you know, Will's, you know, son is grown up in the rich light, which he has, and it's all about, you know, street smarts, or, you know, I guess you could say real working values of like the lower of us common folk, and how to be a more humble person, and how, you know, if you are born into a fortune or, you know, into something like that, then it's hard. It's important not to take that for granted. I think that would make a better message, especially nowadays, for everyone, because it seems that everybody wants to be famous. They want that limelight. They want the followers. They want the they want the engagement, whatnot. You know, they want the riches. So we'll just have. I'm not too excited.
Also, no Uncle Phil. It just doesn't feel right.
Yes, especially with him passing away, that definitely puts a damper on things, and it's like, I don't even think it should be remade, or if they did remake it, of course, you know, I mean, because the pitch that I just made is kind of like, it kind of fits, you know, especially with Will being older, of course, Uncle Phil, you know, passing away as he did, he would obviously pass away in the show, and, you know, life would go on, so. They could have done that instead of a reboot. Yeah, no. But I feel like that's a spin-off series that could definitely work, or a sequel, if you will. But we're going to be talking about some Blockbuster stuff here. They went on Twitter. They're back. You want to take this one really quick?
Blockbuster is doing summer sleepovers inside their last retail store, and it only costs $4 per night on Airbnb.
Cool.
It's
Where is it at? Alaska?
I have no idea.
I believe so. We going.
Sure.
Get away from the rest of the U.S. for a bit. We'll go to the most one of the separate states out there. Not Hawaii. It's way too small. But yeah, it seems pretty cool. I believe this is in Alaska. Last time I checked. I could be wrong. If you're listening to this, let me know if I'm wrong via Twitter at Film Optix. Optics with an X, of course. So, yeah, I mean, it seems pretty cool. You know, it's a nice little breath of fresh air. So, cool little
cheap,
news.
I guess.
Super cheap. We're very, very cheap.
But you have to be in Alaska.
Yeah.
That's why.
I guess so. But moving on here really quick, unless there's something else you wanted to say about it.
Rest in peace, still. Blockbuster.
Yeah, seriously, though. I was more of a Blockbuster guy. You remember Circuit City?
Yeah.
There was one in our hometown for a bit there, over by in Aurora.
So, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and then Best Buy came in. Matt Macedoni said hello. I was like, that sucks. But moving on here, we have a little bit of tidbit. This is a really small news piece. HBO's The Last of Us series will apparently include a jaw-dropping moment left out from the original game. I don't know how that's possible because that game is perfect. It is perfect. But I do have some concerns about the series, as I've said before. But I'm still going to check it out and see what it's all about. This is on HBO, so it's not TV. It's HBO. It's HB fucking O. But I'm guessing this might be. I would say maybe something dealing with Ellie's parents, because throughout the entire journey of Last of Us Part 1 or Part 2, her mother's only mentioned in the first game. And no spoilers for Part 2, I promise. But her mother is only mentioned in the first game for like a brief second. And I believe that's about it. Correct me if I'm wrong, listeners out there. But maybe it has something to do with that. I really can't think of anything else that would be a jaw-dropping moment. We'll just have to wait and see whenever this comes out. So, but I'm betting it has something to do with Ellie's birth or something of that nature. But you want to take this next one? We got some quickies here.
Combine these two horror thriller type movies, getting some home releases. Janelle Monáe's Antebellum is going to VOD next month. And also the Sarah Paulson horror thriller Run, which was originally a Mother's Day release, has been moved from Lionsgate to Hulu.
I'm excited for both.
About that one.
Yes, I am. We both get to watch it. It's great stuff. But yeah, Antebellum. I think I'm more excited for Run, just because I feel like I know more about Run, and I was supposed to go see Run on Mother's Day because it was supposed to come out the weekend, my birthday weekend. Parents were supposed to come down. I was going to try to trick them into going to see it. But I mean, I'm sure they definitely would have gone. But I'm very excited for both. I'm not entirely sure. I think Sarah Paulson's, the horror Run thriller is going to be more enticing to fans, just because if you have a Hulu subscription, it's already there. You don't have to pay anything extra. So there's always that. But that's pretty cool. And I'll take this next one here. It looks like, because I know you want to take the second to last one. You want to rub it in everyone's faces about a certain Alexander Hamilton. But
certain movie.
Yeah, so a certain movie. A movie, people. A movie. Confirmed by Matt Pat, a.k.a. Film Theory. But so earlier this week, there was a article going around that Disney was going to completely ditch their 4K Blu-ray catalog releases for, I believe, Fox properties. And there was, everyone was up in arms about it on Twitter. Like, how could they do this? Oh my God, I'm a physical media collector. What's going on? And I am too. But when I read it, it just mentioned the 4K versions for Fox properties, like for like Home Alone, things of that nature. And I was like, okay, it only says 4K. It doesn't say standard Blu-ray. It doesn't say, DVD. It says 4K Blu-rays. And I was like, okay, I'm a 4K Blu-ray collector. But at the same time, I thought about it for a second. I was like, I can kind of understand why why they would stop 4K especially for older movies. I mean, yeah, like you'll have like nice little like modernized touch-ups here or there, but the movie was not shot in 4K. That wasn't even a concept back when these movies were originally filmed. And maybe I was like, okay, maybe it's just, a money thing. Makes total sense. 1080p is all you need for older movies. Cool. Let's move on with our lives. But it looks like Forbes pumped out a rumor or pumped out an article saying that Disney formally denies that it is ditching the 4K Blu-ray catalog releases for the past few days. People have been up in arms, like I said, when it comes to those 4K massive back catalogs. It's purchased through 20th Century Fox. They stated this as such by saying there are no plans to discontinue releases in a particular format. We evaluate each release on a case-by-case basis and pursue the best strategy to bring our content to consumer homes across platforms that meet a variety of demands. And physical copies are very much still in demand. So that squashes that rumor. Yeah, you have anything? I mean, I know you're not a big physical media collector, but I wonder where that came from.
Where what came from?
The whole 4K rumor, Disney not caring about physical releases. I'm like, they definitely do. They'd be really stupid not to.
Well, Forbes has your answer.
Yeah, Forbes has the answer. Cool. So you want to take this last piece of news?
The best.
I know you're very satisfied.
Best movie of the month. Yes, very satisfied. We got Disney Plus on our side.
Yeah, we do. Hamilton.
Hamilton was the most streamed, media of the month of July by quite the wide margin. Staggering 37% of research firms' panel of viewers in the U.S. watched the filmed musical last month. And That's in first place, with second place being Unsolved Mysteries at 13.7, then The Old Guard at 10.6. Hannah snuck in there. Prime's only offering in the top 10.
Have you watched Hannah?
No.
I mean, I know you say you were on Amazon Business there for a bit, but now you're on the Doom Patrol, the HBO Max binge. I gotcha.
Palm Springs makes the cut, rounds out the top 5.
Yeah.
And then it's just Netflix and Frozen 2.
The Office is still in the race. Wow.
It's kind of crazy. All of June was all Netflix and then Frozen 2.
Yeah, Space Force came in at number 1, Floor is Lava, then The Office. 13 Reasons Why.
Why are so many people watching Floor is Lava? I haven't even seen it, but it just looked weird.
Why are so many people watching 13 Reasons Why? I actually stopped after season 2, and I should have stopped after season 1. But The Office, understandable. I've never seen The Floor is Lava. Fuller House snuck in there, and Ozark as well. So that kind of rounds it all out. But yeah, Hamilton is
great movie.
Yeah, great movie. Great movie. Great movie. All right. So that does it for the new normal. We're going to hop into our last segment here, which is the gaming news portion of the podcast. There's been a lot of rumblings going on here, and we're doing pretty good on time as well. So I like that. We got 15 minutes. So I'll take this first one really quick. Olivia Munn is in final talks for an on and off-camera deal with relaunching the G4 network. For those of you who don't know, or for those of you who kind of forget about the G4 TV network, it was the place where all gamers, when we were little kids, you go on the G4 TV. They had a bunch of amazing shows between Tag of the Show, X-Play, Code Monkeys, et cetera, et cetera. And it was a one-stop shop before internet gaming news became a thing, which is actually what I thought IGN meant when I first started following the site after the collapse of G4 TV. That is not what it means. I forgot what it means. So if you want to look that up, Devin, feel free, because I'm drawing a blank.
Ignorant.
Wow. Can't spell ignorant without IGN. That's honestly like one of the best lines ever, though. But yes, Olivia Munn is in those final talks to sign a multi-year deal with relaunching the G4 network. I was
pretty surprised when I saw this.
I was too.
I thought she would be too busy. She's been a pretty successful actor these past few years. Mm-hmm. But apparently she's pretty picky with the role she takes, so she must have been excited to get back into G4.
Yeah, it's honestly it's not G4 without Olivia Munn at the helm, and
I'm a fan, big fan of Olivia Munn. I actually don't remember watching much G4, but
I watch it all the time. E3 used to broadcast on G4, and like any time that for X Play especially, Adam Sessler, Morgan Webb, they're doing their own little spiel. When the Nintendo Wii, that was I would say more the height of the G4 population. But anytime there was a game that came out, or like especially Grand Theft Auto 4, they were like, we give Grand Theft Auto 4 a 5 out of 5. And you're like, oh, you knew that game was good. If it was, 5-star scale. If it was like a 3-star and above, it's like, okay, whatever. Like 2-star and below, absolutely not. But it was awesome. I loved it. It was like a 4. It's like, ooh, a 4 or a 3 or a 2. It killed you out of 5. But you want to take this next one, Devin? I know you were very disappointed by this news.
I'm concerned, certainly.
Are you concerned or are you
Halo
actually disappointed?
Infinite. Halo Infinite delayed till 2021. I'm concerned because I don't mind the delay because the game obviously wasn't in peak condition when we saw it at the press conference, so I'm fine with them delaying it to make it perfect or better. What I'm concerned with is if you buy an Xbox, new Xbox, I don't even want to remember the names of them because they're awful names. Xbox Series X, yeah. If you buy one of those in November, what are you playing? They have nothing.
They have 4 generations of consoles.
Part.
4 generations. So apparently, when I messaged you earlier, and I want to make a case for both sides here because with Xbox, they've been through the diamond, through the ringer a lot, and I'm actually planning on writing an article dealing with this whole spiel of what this means for Xbox moving forward. They did confirm a window for Xbox Series X. This does not affect the launch of the console. But I'm going to say right now, because you have to think, you essentially have to think of Xbox hardware as a PC. Because within the next year or two, they've already discontinued the Xbox One X and the, what was it? I think the disc, it was either disc-based version of the Xbox One S or the discless version. I think it was a disc-based version. That hardware is going to be outdated within the next year or two. And you're going to have no choice but to buy an Xbox Series X. And I do agree with you, Devin. Halo was looking rough. There was no denying it. And I think they made the right call. It was very, very tough. But I commend them for, admitting their mistakes because they do say that, COVID does have a stake in this as well, which I do believe. But, of course, some of the backlash, because they did mention that, there were other reasons as well. They didn't go too much into it, of course. But, your hardware is only going to last for so long. If you buy an Xbox this Christmas, all of your games, between 4 generations and, of course, Xbox Game Pass, you're already you're setting yourself up for the future. You're setting yourself up for Halo, for Fable, for Avowed, for State of Decay 3, et cetera, of whatever else is coming out. So, I mean, Alana Pierce did say that, she got a call saying that they do expect, to sell out of Xbox Series X this Christmas. But we really don't know for sure because, of course, we don't know how many units that they're shipping and whatnot. But it does suck. It is a blow. They're not out by any stretch of the means. But I feel like even with consoles, when they first launch, there really isn't anything to play anyway. I mean, if you look at PlayStation's lineup, like we know Spider-Man Miles Morales is coming.
Yeah,
but
that's the big one. Like,
but
they have that, but
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Xbox has nothing, and that's all they had to do was focus on games because the last generation they really messed up didn't focus on games, and it's like you're launching a new generation and you still don't have games. It's just so hard to swallow.
Right. Well, you have to also remember that Game Pass is like the real driver here. Like, of course, third party, like, there's no doubt about it that Xbox One X is going to be, a beast. It's the same thing with the PlayStation 5. But it's like, we don't even know, like, besides Spider-Man, Miles Morales, which is not even like a full game. It's supposed to be more of a Uncharted Lost Legacy type deal where, like, yeah, it's going to tell a complete story, but I don't think it's going to have the same depth, or you're not going to be able to. I feel like there's not going to be a lot of replayability. Other than that, I mean, what is PlayStation like? We between that and Astrobot, that one game that showcases the PlayStation 5 controller. I mean, like, if anything, I think both consoles are still in a good position because, I mean, they're both touting backwards compatibility. So you're going to have games to play, even though, like, newer games are coming out. But, I mean, yes, Spider-Man is a system seller, but, like, people are going to be done with that within, like, a week. So it's like, what else are you going to be playing? You're going to be playing third-party games.
I don't see why. If you have an Xbox currently, there's no reason to upgrade at launch.
There's definitely a reason to upgrade. I feel like there is, because you're future proofing. You want your games
to get it
run
at launch. You can just wait. I mean, unless you really need the new cool toy right away, there's nothing that makes you have to buy it, because every game that comes out early is going to be on the last generation too.
That, and yeah, I mean, it just depends on if people want the best, they want their games to look and run the best. I mean, the hardware in the Game Pass itself still sells. I think it's still going to sell the console. Will we be picking it up? Absolutely not, because we both have PCs. There's no reason. But yes, Halo not being there is a big blow, and I do feel like more people would have you're going to get a lot more playability out of Halo than you are for Spider-Man, 100%. And it is tough, because, like, it really does suck, because, we're both looking forward to it, but it's just, I mean, they made the right call. I mean, people are mad understandably, but it's like, would you rather them pump it out to what it is now and have all these bugs and issues, but it's like you just got to cook in the oven a little bit longer? Like, it is a tough call, but I think in the long run, it's going to be fine. But we don't even know when in 2021 this is going to be coming out. But all I'm saying is hardware does devalue over time, people. Your Xbox One X is not going to carry you through an entire generation, which I think is nice, instead of, forcing something. Like, okay, well, I have to buy it, this, that, and the other. Like you said, maybe there isn't a reason, but, I mean, I'm sure people will find a reason. I don't know. But it really does suck, for sure. So we pretty much went through all that. There was the Xbox Series X leak controller that came out.
Not looking too different.
Yeah, it doesn't look too different at all.
It is white, though, so it could be a sign that the
not just white.
Series S could be white.
Yeah, well, not just white, robot white.
Yeah, whatever that means.
Whatever that means, robot white. But yes, there's a share button in the middle. There's a few small little changes that you can see between, like, the
D-pad.
The D-pad, the color scheme for the X, Y, A, and B buttons. They're back, essentially. Well, I know for some they have, like, the small little circles with N, to kind of still be like, oh, this is the A button, this is the X button, whatever. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't look too different. I'm totally okay with it. There was rumors saying that apparently on the box, the controller is supposed to come out like November 6th. And people were saying, oh, that will be the same day and day of the Xbox Series X. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think they're probably going to start pumping out the controllers first before they pump out the systems. But I don't know. You have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, I think the controller will be out relatively soon.
Yeah, I'll definitely. I'm in the market for a new Xbox controller anyway. Mine's starting to have its wear and tear, so I'll definitely pick one up. Get a nice little upgrade for the old PC. But there's also there's been a lot of debacle between Microsoft and Sony. I mean, not Sony, sorry, Apple, when it came to the xCloud debacle there. But have you read too much into that you know of?
Yeah, Apple is being pretty awful here.
Yeah.
And even today, the news came out that Apple took Fortnite off their store, which is just more Apple being Apple, which is not good. It sucks for us because we're both Apple fans. We have iPhones, we have Apple Watches, you have a Mac.
Yep.
So we're a fan of their products, obviously, but when they make decisions like this, it's hard. It's hard to support them because it's just a bad decision for consumers all around.
It is, because when xCloud comes out, everyone's going to say, hey, kids, especially for the younger generation, people are going to want to try out these games on tablets and phones, especially tablets. And it's like, well, it's not supported on iPads because, Apple's being Apple. And it's just going to drive more people to buy Android devices at the end of the day. I mean, I get it. Apple has a pretty big market, like revenue share with their Apple Arcade. I think they're like third or fourth from the last time I checked. But they're a pretty big player overall. So, I mean, but Macs are even really known for gaming, but this could change all that. And I hope Apple, like you say, we love them, but make better decisions, because, a lot of people buy into your ecosystem, and, we understand, the ecosystem, you have all these services, but I mean, it's the same reason why, I use Gmail on my phone over Apple's mailbox app, just because I like Gmail better, and I can still use the phone that I like to use without having to buy an Android phone. There's nothing wrong with Android phones. It's just, I like using Google's applications, and we have that access to do so. So I think Apple is more in the lines of, like, no, they technically don't need it on their platform, but it is very anti-consumer, because you're putting money over consumers when it comes to something that could be revolutionary, but it kind of sucks in and of itself. But we'll wrap up here in a second. It's a few more news stories here. Looks like Fall Guys has beats out Horizon Zero Dawn and Grounded in Steam sales. We've been having a lot of fun with Fall Guys. Absolutely.
2 million on Steam, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I did buy Horizon Zero Dawn for PC because I love the game so much. I've been having a lot of crashing issues, actually, which is weird, because I mean, like, I don't have like a beefy, super mega ultra gaming PC, but it's a pretty decent sized PC. I've definitely invested some money into it, future proofing it and whatnot. And it's like, I don't know what's going on. I can play like maybe 5-10 minutes of it, and it just crashes, which really sucks. So I'm hoping Guerrilla Games gets that fixed. And that's only on like 1080p. Like, at first I was trying to run it like 1440p, messing around with the lighting and the shading and whatnot. I was like, sometimes you gotta fix with it just to make it run on your computer. And then, I dropped it down to 1080p, to a stable, optimized, settings, and same thing happened. It was very odd. I'm like, okay, so I know there's no way this is my hardware, because it's pretty decent. I mean, my graphics card does need to be upgraded here soon, but yeah. And as well as Grounded, we played a little bit of it. We enjoyed it. I would definitely go back into that world. It's great that we can kind of just jump back in because of Xbox Game Pass. But yeah. So, do you want to take this next one here, and then I'll kind of just round out the rest, and we'll say our goodbyes.
Yeah, there was a Marvel's Avengers leak that included references to She-Hulk, Kate Bishop, and more. So possibly future upcoming characters.
Yeah. Do you plan on buying the game after you're not pre-ordering it, are you?
I don't think I'll get it day one just because I won't even be able to play it the first week.
Yeah. Yeah, just so much stuff is coming out on Labor Day weekend. There was another movie that's coming out on Labor Day weekend as well. I can't remember what the name of it is off the top of my head. But between Mulan, Avengers, we have The Boys, season 2. And there was
one thing about The Boys is that it is only the first 3 episodes.
Oh, it is only the first 3 episodes.
And then they're going weekly.
Oh, are they really?
Yep.
Oh, well, that changes a lot of things for us. Because I thought it was
kind of pushes that back a few weeks for us.
And actually puts less of stress on us to push that out as well. So, wow, I did not know that. Cool. Well, that's good. Yeah, because the first season, all episodes were just out there. But I think they're starting to see that, you know, if you want streaming services to stick around, well, everyone's doing it besides Netflix now. They're going over to the weekly releases. And I think Disney kind of set the precedent for that for sure. But hey, you know, I mean, Netflix, nothing wrong with it. They're sticking to their guns. They're, you know, it is literally part of their business model.
They invented it.
Yeah. So ain't nothing wrong with that. But that is really good to know because I was like, holy crap, I'm gonna have to watch the entire season 2 of The Boys while I'm home for that weekend. But it's good. It's only the first 3. So we can definitely work around that for sure. And also, really quick, just to round out the rest of the podcast, because we are coming up on time here. Looks like the Marvel Games vice president said that they are not taking the MCU route when it comes to titles like Marvel's Avengers and Spider-Man for the PlayStation 4. As in, there is no Marvel Cinematic or Marvel Gaming Universe that is going to be happening, which also still begs the question. It begs me, Devin, why is Spider-Man still only a PlayStation exclusive? They want to tout and say, oh, you know, when the opportunity presents itself, it's like, no, it was for money, and that's totally fine. You guys don't care about consumers. It's fine. It's totally fine. But I guess this is a good thing. I mean, I really wouldn't even want Marvel Spider-Man PS4 to be even near this Marvel's Avengers because, I mean, from what I've seen, it doesn't look that great. But I will be playing it this weekend to get my final thoughts because, you know, there's only so much you can tell when watching someone else play it. So plan on streaming that this weekend a little bit. So we'll have to wait and see. But that also kind of ties into our last news story here. I feel like a lot of gamers are going to be very upset this coming up generation. And I feel like it's going to be even more fragmented than, well, this coming up generation is going to be more fragmented than ever before because it looks like Sony has been very aggressive when it comes to securing huge third-party games when it comes to like timed exclusives from this article we have here from VGC. It looks like Kind of Funny's Irman Khan claimed on a video this past Thursday that, you know, the public's going to be shocked when they discover the caliber of titles that Sony has secured for next generation of consoles. And I mean, I get it. Like, it's a business decision, but it just really makes it seem like, especially when the whole Spider-Man thing, you know, Crystal Dynamics came out and said, yeah, you know, if you want to play as Spider-Man on Marvel's Avengers, you have that option to on PlayStation 4. And that's like one of the most shittiest things you can ever say in the world. Like, not everyone owns a PlayStation, and some people do prefer playing on Switch or their PC or an Xbox, you know, respectively, over buying a PlayStation. I'm sorry. Like, the PlayStation is not the only place to play your games. But we'll just have to wait and see. I know Devin will be very furious if Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out.
It's gonna be the one. That's the one. I'm convinced.
That's gonna be the one that sends Devin into like a frenzy. He's gonna be so pissed.
Rockstar is already so annoying. That's what they're gonna do.
Yeah, I mean, like Devin doesn't even have another console. Like he purely plays on PC. So if he wants to play Marvel's Avengers, oh man, I really want to play Spider-Man. Do you really think Devin's going to go out spend $300 on a console plus a $60 game just to play as one hero? If he feels if it feels like something that should be there within a game that everyone should be able to enjoy, I'm not going to get into it too much, but yeah, be prepared, Devin, for these third-party exclusives, because I feel like it's just, I mean, both consoles have, been at fault for it, but I feel like Sony's going to be the one to take the blame, and that's going to be the one that breaks the camel's back for sure. So yeah, I can go on and on about it, but that's all good. So that pretty much wraps up our episode here today. Headline hot takes here on the Film Optix Podcast, our nice little new show. You can again listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, Pandora, Red Circle, iHeart Radio, and Tune In. Keep a lookout for our Project Power review coming up. We'll be dropping on Monday because we're moving it over to Monday for our reviews. We'll be dropping on Monday, not Sundays anymore. Record on Sundays, drop on Mondays. So that'll be our next review. My name is Christian. That was Devin, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Ooh, that was a... You want to try that again?
Peace.